I'm Darcy. I'm a third-year marketing student. I just finished 381-382 market research and consumer behavior last quarter, and I've got 3 quarters left after this. And after school, I'm hoping to just go straight into grad school. Yeah, I guess my initial impression was that it was fairly inclusive, just because it was at Western. The only thing I knew about Western was that it was fairly progressive, so I figured the marketing program would be the same. I think that marketing was a good mix between having a creative outlet, but also having a career that's, I guess, can take you places. I know that a lot of degrees are sort of stereotyped as, kind of hard to find a job out of college, but marketing was never that way, at least for me. So I guess it was the job prospects and also how people see marketing. People, hear you're taking marketing and they're impressed, so that definitely played a factor into it as well.
How do you feel the marketing program has addressed diversity and inclusion within the curriculum?
I think we do a pretty good job of addressing it. I know in every class that I've taken so far, there's been some kind of segment about hey, if you feel uncomfortable with something I've said, come let me know. I think the professors here know that they're not perfect and are all fairly open to changing, what they say, how they act. I think the students here are also very inclusive. I don't think I've ever had an issue with that, at least. You might have people who just kind of maybe take over the group a little bit, but you don't have people who do so based on, race, gender, ethnicity. The marketing classes I've taken, IMC and marketing research, those classes have a very, it's not harsh, but it's kind of hard to get through them, which makes it very satisfying when you do. So I like that feeling of satisfaction when I, did something hard that really challenged me, and I did a good job doing it. I think that the underrepresentation is not necessarily due to institutional moves or policies. I think that Western is just it's right next to Canada. It's in Washington, which is already a pretty white state, and not many people outside of Washington know it, so that just kind of limits the pool of people who are applying to Western. But I do think the marketing program does a fine job of including people. And I think that the way that the program is structured after you get done with all the intro classes, you're in the classes with pretty much the same people for the rest of the major, which is pretty nice. So that really does create sort of a communal, sort of atmosphere in all your classes. You'll see friends that you went through the ringer with in another class, and you have that camaraderie there. So I really think that helps everyone. I guess that also sort of helps people see each other as equals, having to complete a task together. Definitely the hardest classes. You get put into a group at the beginning of the quarter, and it's just you and 4 or 5 other people who have to do insane amounts of research, who have to create content, who have to stay up late in A-dub grinding out projects. So yeah, you can really bond with people over that, which I enjoy. One resource I used was the case comp this last winter. It was right when I was doing 381, 382, right in the middle of it. So it was I was already kind of struggling a little bit, and having that case comp smack dab in the middle just tripled my workload. But it was very worth it at the end. So I kind of got experience, completing a project under crunch time, and then presenting it to real people, I guess, who are, in the field. So I think just the experience of producing that project, doing research for it, and maybe not being sure if it's correct or not, but trying to have, educated guesses on the impacts it would have, and then presenting it in front of people who do this for a living. That was all very valuable for me.
If you were talking to an underrepresented student who wanted more information, where would you tell them to go?
I would say probably the marketing website is a good place to go to. I know that there are some projects being worked on that sort of help with people do that, like the ABC's project in IMC and the Advisor Cab. So those are great resources for people to find out more information. I would say don't be afraid that Western is going to, not welcome you. Bellingham's great, Western's great. The marketing program is great. I feel very welcome, not just among my professors, but also my peers. Yeah, I think that just the structure of how the program works sort of facilitates, creating connections between people, which I really appreciate.